All right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to Andrew versus Keeko debate on whether people idolize Trump or not. Jump in.
Now, she did say something that is kind of dating related, and she said something along the lines of, she said she would end all her relationships. I suppose this would include romantic relationships if this individual like voted for Trump or was a Republican. So, I mean, obviously, I do think in relationships, having shared values is important. I guess this more so relates to personal friendships or like familial relationships where you see people like cutting off family members because of the way they voted. I know that's not super about dating, but perhaps the first thing we can get into is, do you think like valid to like cut off a romantic partner because of who they voted for? And then secondly, not dating related, but what about like cutting off family members and friends for their voting pattern, I guess. Starting with Keeko, go ahead.
I mean, I would say it's valid because you could feel whatever you want to feel. If that's what you want to do, so be it. I'm sure both parties would rather not be in each other's lives anyways. For me personally, I don't care about, maybe not don't care, but I would never, I personally wouldn't cut someone off for voting for Trump or being Republican, but I would cut someone off for being a Trumper. Those are two very different things for me. What does that mean? You can vote for Trump, you can vote Republican because that's, you believe in his policies and whatever. But if you have all the MAGA branding and your trucks decked out and all that stuff, I don't believe you should be worshiping anyone but God. So why are you
worship though?
It's not a worship.
Like how he branded the Bible with Trump and people are buying that, and how they like, I understand voting who you want to vote for, but the fact that they're parading him around like he's some like someone that should be like, that's it's politics. Vote for who you want because you believe that's what's going your best interest and you believe what they say. I have no problem with that.
So then any publishing house that puts the publishing house's name on it is an error on the Bible?
No, I'm just saying,
well, I don't that happened with the Trump Bible.
I don't think it's right to brand in like, the one I'm speaking about is the one where it was a normal Bible and it looked like they literally took a branding tool and branded Trump into it. I don't think that's right. Like, I wouldn't brand Kamala. I wouldn't brand someone I look up to or whatever into my Bible. I think that's very weird.
I'm not actually familiar with that. But the thing is if a publishing house were to put their brand on it, the last name was like, I don't know, Steve Jack or something, or Steve Jack Publishing, you wouldn't think that was an issue.
I would, if they made a Bible and branded in bold letters that takes up a big, you know, a good, maybe not a third, but a good portion of the Bible, they branded their name into it, I wouldn't purchase that.
Yeah, no. I've never even heard of that.
It was going around. I'm not saying that Trump personally endorsed it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not, but people were buying it seriously.
Okay.
So I'm saying the people who are doing things like that, I'm like, okay, like, we're doing.
Yeah, but that's like 1%, like less than 1%. So we go to these 1% kind of guy. Hey, I supported Trump since 2015, guys, but I'm not. I like Trump, but it's not like if he does something wrong, I'm not gonna just pretend that he's right. You know what I'm saying? Like that these people are just they just go to this minute example of less than 1% to just make an argument.
But leaving the Bible alone for a second, okay? I'll just be very charitable and say, sure, you know, if they're buying Trump brand Bible that's branded into it or something like this, that's one step too far for you. Okay, I can. But what about if they have their truck decked out and this type of thing? Like that's what you were alluding to. I'm talking
about the one where it's like, I'm not saying you can't have a vote for Trump sticker or a flag or whatever. I'm talking about the ones where like yesterday outside my job there was a truck that had 4 flags in the back.
Yeah.
The big person as him driving, fully encased in, if you vote for Kamala, stay 500 feet away from me. Like all those stickers, I think that's doing a little too much. I think that's creating separation and it's doing more evil than good. That's my overarching point. And the ones who are just taking it like they're just making him play out to be like he's some god. Like those are the ones I have an issue with. If you want to vote for him,
I understand what you're saying, but aren't they doing you a favor? Because if your ideal here is like if you're this into Trump, right? I wouldn't want to be around you anyway. And if they're just advocating that outright, then aren't they doing you a favor?
That's fine. I don't really care overall, but I'm saying I think it creates more divide in our country.
You don't care, but here you are making an argument against it. And you have spent almost 4 minutes into it. Wow, you really don't care.
Is my point. because you can vote for whoever you want to, but like everyone has the right to react how they want. They have the right to rep what they want, but I just think it does more harm than good. Like you can have your propaganda, you can have, but it's just overarching. Like I had someone post, like even after he won, they just put a bunch of like Trump meme stickers all over my bar, and it's like, it's cool, like I don't, but it's like, it's just, now you're making them even, I feel like, look bad. Like I don't think it's.
But can I tell you something? What you just said, I respect your point of view, but just to show you from the other side, they did the same. The liberal did the same, and even worse when people got elected. Like when
Which
Biden,
election?
With Biden.
I've never seen someone with 3 Biden flags riding around.
Just the fact that they go and chant in a really crazy way and scream when you don't agree with them, all this psychotic attitude.
We're both talking about the far outsiders, and that's what I have an issue with. I have the same issue with the liberals who do all those things. I'm talking about the outliers. Those are the ones I have an issue with.
What do you mean liars? I don't know.
Outliers, like they're not the norm. I don't think the normal person who voted for Trump is like that. And I also don't think the normal person who voted for Biden is like that.
Well, why making the argument? Nobody cares about those people. There's the people that have 5 flags, a Trump flag, and 100 American flags in their truck. Nobody cares about those people. Why making an argument?
I personally didn't, but whatever. So I'm saying we're talking about the small majority.
Yeah. Would
that
you
takes
say
the big
then
light.
that the cities then, who have these massive LGBTQ
There we
parades
go.
and things
Yes,
like this, and they're completely inundated with rainbow flags everywhere, this type of thing, would that be propaganda you would consider divisive?
It's about devices. Divisive is a word, right? Like I believe.
Yeah, I'm aware it's a word.
No, like the word that I'm stuck on, I should say.
Oh, okay.
Because I do think that like when we didn't have the rights we have now, I understand why the LGBTQ parades and things were a thing. So I do believe if I say that there can be a LGBTQ parade and stuff, there could be a Trump parade or whatever.
No, but that's not the question. But that's not the question. You see how she's just trying to swim around the question? You see?
Isn't it just as divisive, I guess, is my question.
It's more divisive. A lot more.
I wouldn't say more. I would say equally. I would say they both have their equal
I'll just grant
parts.
it with equal here, just for the sake of it.
But I get what you're.
But if the argument is like you're all decked out, you got the Trump truck, you know what I mean? It's got the Dixie horn on it.
When's
Right?
politics
It's got like the whole 9 yards.
Listen,
you go, hey, that's really super divisive. It's like, okay, I can grant that. Right? I can grant that people would look at that and see it as divisive. But wouldn't you have to say the exact same thing with these kinds of pride parades, which happen?
I just think this is one thing. It's the president of our country versus, not to sound.
A group that divided the country, I mean. Because the LGBT, I was here in the 90s.
I totally lost what I was going to say.
Listen, 90s, 2000.
I totally lost my whole train of thought with that
This
comment.
isn't, yeah.
Can I say something?
I'm just.
I get what you're saying, and I honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, I would like to think more about my overall point about that before I try to.
Sure.
Yeah, she's learning.
I think
she's learning because you're looking. You sound like when you first came to the podcast, you were crazy. People put you in your place. Now that's why you're less aggressive now, because people put you in your place. That's what happened, guys. Now I just want to think about this. Of course, you have to think about it because now you realize, if I make the argument for this side, I have to make the argument for this side as well. She got caught.
It's not the same thing. The whole Trump and the gay pride community is because gays in their community, they had to fight to be accepted into
So did Trump.
Trump is literally had been president for how long? You know
After
what I
he
mean?
fought to become president.
Yes,
Exactly, after the
but that is that's politics. But
It's also
has nothing
politics.
to do with that.
It's even more politics. You know how much money
because
they make?
you have to fight for rights to love someone
But
who you
it's
want to love.
not about rights.
But Trump is literally fighting for something that half our generation could I'm not a voter, so I could care less about it.
There we go.
That's the problem.
Yeah, you're probably right, but there's also me that don't really give a shit about politics.
Why-
That's what I say that it's okay.
Why making an opinion? Why making an opinion? If you don't give a damn, get out of the panel. Get out of the panel. See I fix these stuff very quick, man. I fix these kind of problems very quick. If I was a dictator for one day, I'll be doing stuff like this. Like, I'm just, you don't want any part of this? Don't. I would. The 19th Amendment is for me, it's an argument that I never considered in my life until 2019, 2018. That's when I started making some questions. I started asking some questions regarding these groups, right? This is the problem right here. She doesn't care about politics, but here she is opening her mouth about politics. Lady, if you don't want to talk about politics, if you don't want to be a judge, do not wear the wig. Do not wear it. But you want to be a judge now. You want to enter the conversation, but you don't want to wear the wig. Okay, so don't be a judge.
This election?
No, I don't care.
Then
I
you should
really,
probably
yeah, I
sit
don't. I
out
really
the
don't care because I don't give a fuck.
I
I
wanna-
don't even know what they're
I wanna
talking
add
about.
one
I
more
didn't vote for Biden versus Trump because I thought they were both.
Oh, I didn't
couldn't
vote then either.
decide,
I never
but this
voted.
one I definitely
Nah,
voted
you're gonna
because I
say
knew
some
for sure
TOS shit.
Kamala
Nah,
was
you're
gonna-
Chill out. Chill
What?
out.
Nah, you're gonna
Yeah,
say some
I've
TOS
never-
shit.
No,
Nah,
I'm
nah.
not.
Yeah, you're
I'm not.
literally about to.
I promised you. No, I'm not.
And can I add something then?
I just
I'd like
wanna.
to hear it.
Okay, so I think what point you brought up when Trump had to like
Teal.
fight for presidency, of course you have to fight for presidency. That's literally in the job description. It is not in a job description to fight to be with the person who you love. So it is not the
But
same
it-
thing.
Well,
Yes.
Oh, I want to.
marriage.
hang on,
Point.
You
Yeah,
would you
hang on,
say
let her
would
go.
you say that marriage is part of the American, like
Crazy.
whatever community, however we were brought
Dream.
up, American dream, marriage, white picket fence, kids, whatever.
So with this
Define,
day,
okay, sure. Define marriage.
Yeah, define marriage. It's honestly, it's just a commitment for like property.
Then-
It's-
wow, commitment for a property. Wow, and these are the same people that want the same-sex marriage kind of thing, right? I mean, marriage is just ceremony. It's a ceremonial activity, a religious ceremonial activity, right? But whatever, man.
It's
No,
basically like
that
a
wouldn't
legal
be part of
agreement.
the American
Not
dream.
true.
That,
think
but that's
marriage is
technically
written
what
down.
it is. Marriage
Yeah,
in
but
the
that's not-
like idealized
Sure.
sense
I'll-
is
I'll-
love,
Yeah,
right?
but the thing is that's not part of the American dream. No, it never has been.
Okay,
the idea,
so
the idea of
the idea of
the
marriage.
idea of like a contractual state marriage. No, it's never been a part of the American dream.
No, but that's what it is. That's
No.
what it is.
Yeah, but-
the idealized version of it, which has been basically promoted as the American dream of, oh, you're gonna find
Yeah,
somebody that
promoted.
you love. Yeah.
But it's not the
And the
original.
promotion is the device, right?
Exactly.
And that's
The
what makes it
promotion
divisive.
of men and women being the only ones getting to be married, that is biblical.
Because at least we're gonna react to more of these videos, man. Let me know what you guys see in the comment section below. In the meantime, guys, I'll see you in the next one.